Facebook friends, welcome to day 2 of the Get Booked Out Marketing Challenge. I know that Facebook is building the audience, but I'm really excited that you're here if you're watching me live or the replay. If you're like, who is this woman? I have no idea who she is. My name is Fabiola Giordani from FabiolaGiordani.com, and I'm a business and marketing coach. And what I do is I help entrepreneurs just like you, service-based entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, leaders, coaches, consultants, designers, event planners, I can go on, right? Service-based entrepreneurs utilize the power of online marketing to scale and grow their business. And what I do with my clients is I help them create marketing systems that help them generate leads and profit daily in their business. And so I'm really excited that you're here. If you don't know what the Get Booked Out Marketing Challenge is, you need to know. But what it is we are spending 5 days together, going live, being active, getting visible, and I'm teaching content and sharing that with you inside of the challenge and here on live, and answering questions to help you get people on your calendar so you can book them out. So today, I know this topic is not as sexy as yesterday, but it needs to be said. And so there are four main, well, there's more, but I want to talk about four main actual habits of a booked out service-based business, basically. So whether you're a coach, consultant, event planner, designer, if you're helping people, you have a client-based business where you have to actually provide services, then you need to hear this. Hey, Racky. Hey, Laura. Welcome. Yes, I'm excited for you, Racky. Don't forget to post it inside of the classroom so I can check it out. I do watch them, and I give you, I leave your comments. So if you post them in there, I'm going to watch them. All right, guys, so I'm really excited. I'm going to get started. It is late in the evening, and this is usually like our Friday for the family, so I know. And so, long story. Anyway, so I want to get started. So if you're at a space in your business where you're like, darn it, why is she getting all the customers and I'm not, right? One, you got to get out of that mindset because there's room for everybody. So you want to adapt more of an abundance mindset. But if you're probably wondering why is it easier for the next coach or someone else to book clients and, you know, fill up the calendars and not have to stress out month to month and be in that feast and famine cycle, then let's talk about what you need to be implementing in your business right now to ensure that it stops happening to you. Awesome. Okay. So if you're here, leave me a reaction, drop me a note, say hello. And then of course you can always share this while you're watching. P.S. I'm a mom, a wife, and I'm a puppy mommy too. And so you will hear him in the background squeaking his toy, doing his thug thizzle, because he does that. He might bark too. Okay. I'm looking at my notes over here. I'm talking to you over here. And of course, if you have questions, drop them in the note. Please note that if you left me comments on the last live stream, I am going back to them only because, like, for some reason, Facebook is not giving me all of the comments. So I thank you so much for commenting and hanging out with me. Okay. Just know that I will be going back, liking and sharing and all that fun stuff. Okay. So the 4 habits of a booked out business, a service-based business is what I should have called this, right? And so the number one thing that they are doing, the consistent habits to get booked out is, hi, Diana. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Hi, Tiffany. Is they're visible. So when I talk visibility inside of the Get Booked Out Marketing Challenge, I'm not saying for you to be everywhere all day, every day. One, you want to be strategic about your visibility. You don't want to be everywhere. And 2, you want to be where your people are. So the habit that you want to form is to consistently be visible. So right now you can be visible while you're in this challenge and then you become a ghost after that, right? And then people are like, oh, what happened? I was enjoying it. Yes, you have a life, so you probably don't want to live stream every day. Even though we're doing 21 days of live, it probably won't be something I do all the time. Totally get that, right? But if you are not showing up for your people consistently or the new people, then it's going to be hard for them to find you. Oftentimes, most people are like, well, I don't want to do all this stuff. I don't want to do all this blogging. I don't do a bunch of hoopla. So let me give you some ideas of how you can stay visible and stay relevant in front of your audience. So we talked about live stream throughout this challenge. Live stream is a great way. You can use different platforms like Periscope and here. Of course, you know I love Facebook Live because I love the numbers. But what you can do is you can just make it a consistent show. So maybe every week you come on and you teach something or whatever you want to do, but every week you show up. When you show up with your visibility, other things that you need to be doing are things like publicity, right? Locally, online, everywhere. You should be pitching yourself to notifications. You should be pitching yourself to other publicity forums so that you can get yourself out there. When you're asking for top dollar, yes, you're the expert. We talked about that yesterday, but also it's equally important for you to have clout, right? All those little sticky notes that you see on people's websites, like featured in Huffington Post and Forbes and all of that, those matter. It's not just, ooh, she thinks she's fancy. She thinks she's fancy. It's really more about saying, look, I'm solidifying the expertise even further. And of course, for them, it's getting more eyes. Because remember, when you're featured in something, guess what you're doing? You're sharing it everywhere. Your friends, your family, everyone's sharing it. And that's going to actually multiply. So last year in October, I was featured in Huffington Post as one of the top 50 women entrepreneurs to follow for 2017. That ish went live. It grew my list. It grew my visibility. Like, it was viral. Actually, if you go into that post right now, it was shared thousands of times. And the people in that particular notification or article also shared to their audience. And guess what? You're being seen by so many people. And so visibility is key, but consistency is key here. So I guess habit number 1 is consistency. 2 is visibility. That makes it 5, right? Okay, so number 2, in terms of getting booked out and being consistently booked out, is to focus on the connections, right? We're going to talk about connections tomorrow in the challenge, but what I want to talk to you today about is that a lot of us are not valuing connections. We're not meeting new people. We're actually hiding behind our computers, or we're saying how we're so busy that we can't go to a networking event. When I first started my business, I got myself out. I was like, I'm one of those people that, well, I don't do it anymore, but in the past I was so shy that if I go somewhere, I'd be like freaking out and sweating. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I can't even hold a conversation. But I had to get myself out there, and it wasn't about passing out my business cards for me. Sometimes I even forgot. It was more so of connecting with people. But once you connect with them, what do? You want to follow up, right? Because we're all busy. Don't assume everyone's going to hop on your bandwagon and be like, hey girl, let's talk. And when you follow up, you're not really focused on, for me, it wasn't about like, hey, do you want to be a client kind of follow? It was like, hey, nice to meet you, kind of connect, build that rapport, build that connection. Even in online courses that you've taken, a lot of my students have become best friends because they're able to build a real connection. Even though I have a few of them I can list, but one of them is a designer and the other one is a copywriter / goddess mentor. And one thing that I love about the two of them is that, guess what? Their businesses can collaborate, right? But if the designer was so focused on making the copywriter a client, the copywriter is focused on making a designer client, they actually do have a collaboration that they do together. They wouldn't be able to become friends and do all that. So their mindset was not only focused on, I need to get clients, but what it does for you is if somebody I have contacts that I've met when I first started my business that would send me clients. Be like, hey, this person needed someone to help them with their online marketing and things like that. And guess what? Those connections work. But for you, when you want to build those connections a lot quicker and meet more people, you're going to have to give out some cash, right? And so some of the things you can do is run ads for your business. So like Facebook ads. You can also do affiliate stuff like joint webinars and things like that. But the habit of always focusing on getting new connections is important. Now, I know it's also important to keep your customers, obviously, and have a great experience for them. But you should also have new eyes, new ears in your business at all times, period. And so those booked out companies and coaches and consultants, designers, so on and so forth, they're always doing that. Yeah, and actually about connections, when I talked about publicity, one of my clients was featured on a local news station. Sorry, my dog is being silly. And she was talking about branding overall, and it was really cool because she was showing them like the visual aspect and things like that. And that also supported her in bringing new eyes, new ears to her business, a new business too. So it's important. Number 4, is that number 4? Yeah. No, actually that's number 3. Number 3, conversations. So if you don't have a sales team right now, you're not where you need to be in terms of sales teaming it, right? We don't all need a sales team. But if you you need to have conversations with people. So really to connect with people and to actually make your sales, especially for selling high-end programs, design work is not cheap, right? Some design companies require, they provide a proposal for them to hire you, right? So in terms of you still need to have those conversations in terms of what they're looking for. But in your case, if you are just servicing like entrepreneurs and things like that, it's okay to actually, I need some serious help. Hey, Somalia. So in that case, you still need to have conversations with people, because when you're on a call with people, these things are really important for you to be able to connect with people. Here's what conversations do for you, okay? One, it helps you figure out if they're the right fit for whatever you're offering. Two, it helps you really get to know whether or not you're going to be able to support them. Well, yeah, same thing, right? But three, it also helps them figure out if you're the right fit for them, right? So just putting the price on your site is important, but it's not like, oh, it's $5K, I'm totally going to buy it, right? If you go to a shoe store, you're going to ask to try it on. You're going to, learn more about it, especially if it's an expensive pair of shoes. You want to know, do you have special instructions I can find out how to take care of it? Do I need to come back here? Is there warranty, right? Maybe that's electronics, but I do it for my shoes. So you want to make sure you're getting yourself in something, a big commitment. So you really want to be prepared for that. And that's why conversations are important. But also when you're selling high end, you need to have conversations. If you're selling high end real estate, your clients are not just going to look at the pictures online and say, sure, let me buy it, right? They're going to send, either if they can't make it, someone else is going to show up and see the place themselves. And they're going to have conversations with you about pricing and all of that. So why is it not important for your business? So you should always be having conversations with people in order for you to sell your high-end stuff, okay? Even when you're selling a course, I recommend doing like a webinar, right? You need to talk to people and engage with people. So anything that you do in your business, you need to have conversations, all right? All right, and then lastly, systems. So what they have in their business, the habits that they have, or the steps that they're taking to ensure they're getting booked out, is having the proper systems in place in their business. So systems is an array of things, but one of the things they do have is they have a virtual assistant or a team member to support them when they need different things. So for example, my team members will do follow-up emails for me. They'll also send out contracts. The dog is doing his own thing. So that saves me time. So when I'm having these conversations, if it's a yes, then we have everything ready to go. Part of my system is not just my team, but it's also the things that I have in place, right? So you need to have, like, what are the steps that you need to take once someone say yes? Or what are your follow-up processes, right? Also, how am I going to communicate with people when they do become a client? How do we, get them in and get them acclimated before coaching? What forms do I need? There's a million things you need to set up. Especially, like, that's just the back end of it, right? But the front end of it, your systems need to be set up in terms of your marketing, like how many times a day you're going to post. Are you going to be live streaming or not? Like, all these things automated for your business. Are you running Facebook ads? Who's managing all that? Like, I'm probably overwhelming you, but it's a lot, right? All this stuff needs to be systematically created for your business so they can automate part of the process. Because I often talk to coaches who've been in business longer than I have, and they're like, oh, what is that? Oh, I don't have this. Or, how do I get this done? And I'm like, wait, how do you run your business? And it's just the basic things that they don't have. And that's the reason why they're not able to handle the volume. So if you have a volume of people that come to you and say, I want to work with you, and you can't handle it, or you're missing out on, like, different opportunities, you need to have those things created. So let me give you some examples of systems that I help my clients build, especially when we do intensives. So during our intensives, we do coach, we do planning, but it's an implementation intensive, and I make you do work. And so one of the things that we do, especially for my designers and coaches and consultants, is we create, I love using Google. So we create folders that are building your system. So, their marketing systems, like, where everyone can find, whoever's on their team can find the marketing materials for a particular product, sales pages, FAQs, all of that, right? What happens when the person wants to book a call? So you have your calendar on your website, you have your links, you have your things ready, and then so on and so forth. And then we also do the marketing system in terms of, like, from, Facebook ad all the way to the process of selling, because these things are important, because it's really easy for you to miss out on opportunities. Oh, thank you, Angel. It's really easy for you to miss out on opportunities because you're not well organized. And guys, I used to be, well, I'm still a hippie, but a total hippie. And then when I got in business, I was like, ooh, I got to shape up or shape out, right? Because otherwise you're going to be freaking out. When I launched my business when I first launched my business, I was crazy overwhelmed because I didn't have those systems in place right away. And so my business took off. I made my first 3 high-end sales when I launched my website, and it just took off because I was doing webinars. Remember yesterday I told you about the webinars, and I had to like take a weekend and create all the systems and make my life a lot easier. So the habits of a booked out coach, consultant, designer, or service-based entrepreneur, let me just share them with you. Number 1, visibility is key for them. They're consistently being visible, and it's not when they need money or when it's convenient for them. They're consistently showing up for their audience, and they're giving great content. Value, 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 give, give, give. The second thing is their focus on connections. Because that's important for you to connect with people. Like Angel and I met through a Facebook group, and I wasn't even, you guys know I don't believe in Facebook groups, but it was a fairly new group, and I believe it was like I posted a, what was it? It was like a brand mood board. It was brand mood board Monday, and I was like, ooh, this group is awesome. They're all engaged. I think it was like a challenge or something. And I was like, okay, let me post that in there. And we met and we connected and she became client and friend. So you have to really be okay. And having conversations. It wasn't like a sales call. It was like we had a conversation. And then connections, conversations, and then building a system to allow you to get booked out. So like I said, you want to think about the process that it takes from when people meet you through when they become clients. You also want to think about the pre-process of your marketing. Yes. And you know, from the marketing part, right? So if you are going to be running ads, like I don't just run ads, I still actively engage on Instagram. Well, took some time off, but I'm actively engaging on Instagram. I'm doing Facebook Lives. I don't have to do all of this stuff, but I want to because it's a part of how I show up and how people know me. And I don't want to just be like, oh, I'm falling off the face of the earth, even though, you know, I'm booked out now. I'm going to go sit down in a corner. Like, you can still show up for people. You can still give value. You don't have to do like a 20-hour masterclass to stay relevant, but you do have to show up. But some of the ways to minimize your extra work that you're doing in your marketing is to do things that's going to amplify your message, like publicity and going live and doing Facebook ads. Because honestly, bootstrapping works, but those booked out coaches are not bootstrapping. You will see their ads on your feed. You will see you'll see them everywhere online. So you want to start focusing on how can you make your life a lot easier when you're marketing your business, okay? And so that's all I wanted to share with you today. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I did not. Of course, if you're watching this replay, you could drop me a note in the comments and let me know, what are you going to be doing to, which one of these habits do you want to implement in your business right now? So what are you lacking right now that you feel like you need to start actually doing right now? And I probably would start with all of them, but if I would pick something, which one is the one that you don't have? So maybe a visibility plan, maybe you need more systems, or maybe you need to get out of your comfort zone. Hey, Somalia, yes, you can go to fabiolajordani.com/strategy. And then maybe it's having like the conversation. So one thing that you might be struggling with, maybe you have all this other stuff, but you're like, I connect with people, but my conversations suck. So maybe that's the thing. Raki says she's going to be doing more Facebook Lives. Awesome. Facebook Lives work, guys. It works because it works. And we'll be talking more about that inside of the challenge. All right, everyone. I appreciate you. The dog is getting antsy, and he's like, let me out. I have some neighbors I need to go bark at. Okay. A little hot in here. I appreciate you. And of course, if you have a friend who needs to hear this, feel free to tap the share button. And of course, if you're watching, you can always share some love, even if you're not live with me. And the final call to action, besides dropping me a note, don't forget that if you want to get access to the booked out marketing PDF, you can go to fabiolavip.com and join me. Thank you, Somalia. Thank you, Raki. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Tiffany, Laura, and anyone else who's watching. I appreciate you. I will see you later. Bye, everybody.